Alright, this is going to be my Halo Season 2 Episode 5 review. This episode was a filler episode. Let's go ahead and talk about it. The episode opens up right where we left off with Vanek dying and then Chief all injured and all that, and a brute shows up, they take him down. It was actually pretty cool. We got to see the fall of Reach and then we go off to another planet. Then after that, the whole episode essentially becomes just a filler episode, not a lot of action, not a lot of big budget things going on. It's more of just a lot of conversations, and I enjoyed some of them, especially the Chief and Halsey ones. I thought the funeral for Vanek was really well done, especially because John didn't really want to have a funeral. He said, like a Spartan, as soon as they die, like, that's it. They serve their purpose. There's no burial, there's no funeral, none of that. But then Kwan convinces him to actually go to a funeral for Vanek. And Kwan actually had a good line that was directed towards Chief when he was refusing to do a funeral. She was basically saying, like, this is not death, this is loss. And I was like, damn, Kwan actually had a good line? Awesome. And I kind of like that Chief's team is essentially just going away in this show because, as we know in the Halo games, he's pretty much on his own. He's essentially a lone wolf, besides like the Marines and all that. But, you know, like he has Kai, Riz, Vanek, and it seems like all of them are going to be gone. And then at the end of the episode, we get a really cool reveal that Kai is essentially working with the UNSC and, what's his name, Ackerson? Yeah. And she's essentially going to be like the new chief. And I think that sets up some really great conflict between Master Chief and Kai, and I hope we get a really awesome Spartan-on-Spartan action scene by the end of this season. And Kai is actually the last member of his team now, because Riz essentially is going to retire and stay on the planet that they're in this episode, but Chief still thinks that maybe Kai's alive, I don't know. So when he finds her, he's going to be all excited like, yes, she's alive, this is amazing, and then he's going to find out that she essentially betrayed him. And it is going to be one tense moment, and I really hope that the fight scene between them is glorious. I thought the VFX in this episode was pretty good, even though I'm really only talking about the Arbiter, because like I said, this episode was a filler episode that was mostly just conversations and so on, and there wasn't really a ton of VFX in this one. Now on to my cons. The first one is going to be that the episode was very, very slow. The pacing was just super slow, especially because the fall of Reach just happened. That is such a major event in the Halo lore, and for them to just follow it up with such a slow episode, you really feel it. And some of the time that was dedicated to certain storylines I just was not a fan of because, like I said, the episode was slow, but then if you give us a storyline that's really boring too, it really adds on. So, for example, the Soren and his wife thing, trying to find Kessler, I hate that storyline. It is just so slow, so unneeded. Like, this is a Halo show. We should be focusing on Master Chief, the UNSC, Halsey, not Soren and his kid. But then in the episode, they said that the UNSC took Kessler, and I was like, okay, what if they're taking him to be a part of the Spartan 3 program? Then, okay, yeah, that storyline gets a little bit better. And if that is the case, that they're essentially recruiting Kessler against his will to be part of the Spartan 3 program, and they're trying to basically gaslight him and say, like, hey, your dad was a Spartan, your dad is dead now, you can carry on his legacy, become a Spartan just like him, that kind of stuff, that would make the next episode really awesome and really lead that storyline in a pretty good direction. But as of right now, we don't know that they're going to go in that direction. That's just what I think they're going to do. But like I said, we won't know until probably the finale of this season. Next, let's talk about my favorite character, Kwan, because what the heck is going on? This, like, witch lady shows up that supposedly died in the first episode, but I guess she's still alive because she's magical, mystical, she's some kind of witch or something, and she tells Kwan that she's the protector, and basically saying, like, Kwan is destined for something amazing, and oh my god, please no. This is a character that I would say like 90% of the fans do not care about, and the fact that they're trying to set her up to be this great character or whatever is just mind-boggling. Like, why? Nobody cares about this. My next negative is that we got more of Makee, and I swear if that theory is correct that she's pregnant with John's baby, I am gonna lose it. I'm just not a fan of this character. Every time she comes on the screen, it's just like a random ass scene. And, in this episode, yeah, Cortana was talking to her. Cortana showed her Halo, and it looked pretty good. I'm not going to lie. So, whenever they go to Halo, probably in season 3, I'm really excited to see what it's going to look like. But besides that, like, McKee just. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of that character, and it really detracts from the show, I think. And my last negative is just the fact that the show still isn't feeling like Halo. I know a ton of people have defended the show saying, oh, it's a different timeline, it's something different, it's not supposed to follow the games exactly, and I get that 100%. That's fine, but the main thing about Halo is Master Chief. That is our focal character. He's always wearing his armor. There's always action. There's always something to do with the actual Halo story that we saw in the games and the books and everything. And the show is just going in such a generic direction. It feels just like a Halo skin on a cosmic marine show. And like I said, I get it. The show is supposed to be different. It's not supposed to be exactly like the games, but it should have a pretty good amount of time dedicated to stuff centered around the games, like Master Chief and his armor. The fact that they took away the armor, I was like, what? Like, why? He barely wears it in the first place. Why are you taking it away now? It's just little things like that that just really takes away from it being an actual Halo show, because I swear you could label this thing as Space Marine and it would be the same thing almost. And I'm really hoping that season 3 is on Halo. He's got his armor on. He doesn't have a team anymore. He's a lone wolf. And I think the show could really pivot into a really great direction by the time he actually gets to a Halo. But as of right now, it just feels way too generic. And like I said, I like this episode, and I've liked this whole season so far, but it just feels too basic and not enough of Halo is being implemented into this series. But anyways, guys, I am going to give Season 2, Episode 5 of Halo a 6 out of 10. I thought it was just slightly above average. The writing was pretty good, the character moments, the emotion, the set design, everything was pretty solid overall. But this was a filler episode 100%, so it was never going to be like a 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 episode. There was just no way. We've got 3 episodes left for Season 2. I really hope it just ramps up, like John gets his armor, and he goes against Kai and finds out about the Halo. It's just going to be a great end to the season, I think. But episode 5 was a filler that was really, really slow, and I just hope that the last 3 episodes can stick the landing. Let me know what you guys thought about Season 2, Episode 5 down below in the comments.